Yo, what it is, YouTube? What's up, Facebook? What's up, all people? I like watching this vid. I'm gonna go in here and go into my settings and make sure that my audio my volume's down. Okay. So guys, what's up? It's Bradley here. I just want to I was thinking the other day, and I was watching, and I was talking to one of my guys at work, at church, one of my accountability partner. I started talking to him, and I said, I asked him, I said, what makes a dateable man of God? And he laughed, chuckled at me, and looked at me. And he's married, and he has a wife and kids, and I've always looked up to him. And he says the woman makes the man of God, and I just laughed. And I was like, what? Like, I understand that. Like, a woman, you have to have a dateable man of God needs a woman to date, but what makes a dateable man of God? You know, obviously, it's his persona, how he carries himself, his his walk with God, his prayer life, what he goes through every day, and how he processes all the information, and you know, all these different things that he goes through, how he handles those things, but also how he reacts to others, how he treats others, how he talks, how he walks. You know, many times as a man, and in life in general, it's hard to do things without reacting the wrong way. It's hard to process things sometimes without doing the wrong thing. So you try to always do the right thing, but what makes a man dateable? Like, what qualifies him?
Really?
As
call it that. We'll give it a better name later.
I'm sorry to inconvenience you, Captain. Thank you. I have marked a trail of arc pulses the fallen left behind.
You know, like, I was thinking, it's like, you know, I understand that I'm young. I'm not real worried about dating. I'm not real worried about, you know, what I'm going to be doing in my life. Like, I understand there's things that I'm going to do, there's places I'm going to go, there's people I'm going to see, there's things that I'm going to experience. But what makes me a dateable man of God? And the first thing that comes to mind is his relationship with God. Like, if you don't have a good standing relationship with God, then how can you be a dateable man of God?
No sensor reach in that direction,
Then his prayer
pulses.
life, like how he prays every day.
Behind my eyes.
Ew. I just ate.
Like how he prays every day, how he worships at church, or how he worships in general. Like, worship is an important part of life. You know, it's an important process every day that you need to do. You know, you need to worship God for what you've been through. You need to talk to him and experience worship And not just, any kind of worship, meaningful worship. And prayer, meaningful prayer. Like, a dateable man of God is not just an everyday player or an everyday guy. He's someone who talks to God about his woman. Like, what kind of woman do you want? And you best be looking for a dateable woman of God. Like, what makes a dateable woman of God? Like, all these questions, and nowhere in the Bible really does it really talk about dating. Like Paul said in some of his writings, that it was better to be single than it was to date. Like, if you were a Christian, it's better to be single so you don't have to worry about that other person in life. But most of us that live in America, and most of you that are watching this video, we've grown up with the thoughts and the images of a marriage or
I'm detecting another set of arc pulses. Coordinates marked.
things in life that you wouldn't necessarily have seen unless you looked for them in marriage or in dating. And I stink at this mission, and I'm getting sidetracked. But for real, what makes a dateable man of God? What makes a dateable woman of God? Their relationship with Christ has to be centered. It has to be a good relationship with God.
In that direction, Captain. But their weapons have left a trail of arc pulses.
And
Will you help me track them? I can feel them crawling around behind my eyes.
Ew. I just ate.
It's a difficult explanation. Things in life and relationships in life, you aim for them to be godly. You want them to be godly. But at some point, we don't always know what godly is or what defines godly. Just because a guy goes to church and he worships and he prays and he does these things doesn't necessarily make him godly. He may be doing those things but be living a sinful life. She may be doing those things but living a sinful life. This person may go to church and may show up and do their dues, or what they call their dues. They show up, but behind the scenes, they're okay with having premarital sex. They're okay with the language that they speak every day. They're okay with the attitude that they carry. They're okay with carrying themselves in a not Christ-like way. And then they carry that into a relationship to where they don't have those boundaries. They don't have those guidelines. They don't have those rules and those things that, what makes me a dateable godly man, or a dateable man of God, is that, guidelines and rules are established day one from knowing and seeing and experiencing firsthand. Let's not go on a date alone, or if we do, let's go somewhere public, so where we're not tempted to reach out into sin. Like, let's go to a well-lit
Transfer.
a well-lit area. Let's go to a nice place that has, more than just one person there. Let's go on a double date. Like, let's have another couple stay at the date with us, go on the date with us, the same age or someone older than us, and let's have accountability partners with the relationship. She have a woman of God in her life that she looks up to talk to about things that are going on, and you have a man of God, so that you're both getting the the things in life that you need from those people.
Not enough time for this.
Yeah, somebody put an HH40 on where an HH30 is supposed to go.
So, those things qualify or start to make up some of the qualifications that I would have for a dateable man of God or a dateable woman of God. But that's my vision of a dateable woman of God. What I may see in a woman and call godly, someone else may not. Someone else may think or see something completely different, But there are guidelines and things that we need to set in life and in dating and exploring the dating realm and looking for someone that defines godly in our life and defines godly in their life. Ooh.
Wired into the whole system.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom. For me, I want a woman that's close to my age, that's going to worship God with all of her heart and with all of her might and lean not on her own understanding. And when I push the boundaries and I go too far, she let me know, like, right away, and not be hesitant about saying it to me, like, hey, you crossed the boundary tonight. We don't need to do that. We don't need to be alone in your room. We shouldn't have been there. We should have had someone. We should leave the door open. We should never do that. We should always have someone watching us. And yeah, who cares if there's an engagement ring on her finger, or you're proposed for marriage, or you've been together for years, or that you've earnestly worked at this relationship. That doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter to the fact of how long you've been together, or how long you trust her, or how long how much she trusts you. A godly relationship is always going to have God in the middle, with two godly people, and more than one or two people in the mix. Like, the relationship is you two people, but the people that give you advice that you look up to need to be godly and need to have a good vision of what you want in your life. Like, my accountability partners are people that have good marriages, that I see as good marriages, and I like, and I want in life. Like, I want a godly marriage. I want a godly relationship. And those things inspire me to push to be at a higher level in life. I don't just desire to have another relationship or another girl. Like, I was talking to this girl and she was pushing me, and I knew that it wasn't going in the right direction that I wanted to, and I told her that, I wanted a godly relationship, that I want to save sex till marriage. And she was like, I'm super stressed today, and if you were here, we'd be in the shower and you'd be giving me a massage. Like, I was like, whoa, what?
What do you seek?
And so I learned from that experience that I didn't want that. Like, I told her, it was like, we're going to have to quit talking. I'm not interested. And she went on this whole spiel and said some things that were, uncalled for, and that doesn't matter. But what it showed me is that she didn't have any godly interest in me. She just wanted another boyfriend, or she wanted a boy. And I wasn't about that life. Like, I didn't want it. Like, I didn't want just another relationship. I wanted something more than just another relationship. I want something greater than just another relationship. I want something better than just another relationship. I want a godly relationship. I want my next relationship to exemplify the marriage that I'm going to have one day. You know, someone that wants the same things I want in life. And in our relationship, wants to keep our relationship holy until matrimony, and wants to keep us holy and accountable for our actions until matrimony, and still after then be held accountable for the things that we do and the things that we say and the people we are and the people we become and the people we are around each other. That's what I want. That defines godly. Like, not just another relationship, not just another person, a godly person, a godly interest. You know, someone who sees me as the man of God that I want to be and sees more in me than I see in myself. Like, pushes me to be better than I am. You know, better today than I was yesterday. Be a better man than I was today than I was yesterday. And then the next day to be a better man. The next day, be a better man tomorrow than I was today. That's the kind of relationship that I want to have. That's the kind of relationship that pushes me to be that godly man. That's what defines godly. And a godly relationship exemplifies God in every way, in worship, in prayer, in fasting, in supplication, in everything that you do should exemplify Him in the relationship. You know, when y'all are on a date, instead of, you know, going to the movies, why not go to like a prayer meeting or to a life group or, you know, a small group, or hang out with some friends or some church people, or, you know, a married couple, and have dinner with them, or sit on their couch and talk and just hang out, instead of, you know, going out and spending all this money and going out and doing all these luxurious things that aren't necessarily going to provide insight or help you in the relationship and the things that you want in life and want to aspire towards. Like, push yourself to be more in your relationship with Christ, in the relationship itself, to where you're trying to be a better man of God and she's trying to be a better woman of God, but not just for each other, but for your own sake. To strive to be excellent every day, and to be greater the next day than the day before. That's the thing. That's what would define godly. And that's Think It Playing Soccer on here. But, you know, you guys comment and leave some comments below and this is not just like a one topic video or one video and end. I want to expand on this, like dig into it and find hidden details and breadcrumbs left throughout the Bible that give us help and insight about dating and relationships and what the Bible says on this. So, you know, drop some comments and some, you know, some comments and let's dig into this deeper. And, you know, if you've got a relationship and it's not godly, you need to figure out how to make it God-centered, or you need to lose it. If it's not centered on God, then it's not a good relationship, and it's not going to be the relationship that you want or the relationship that you need. It's going to be something that's not godly. If it's not for God, it's against God. And I'm not saying that you're having your relationship against God, but is that relationship glorifying God or lifting Him up? Because if it's not, then is it godly? That's just my pro quo on what makes a godly relationship. I love you guys. Leave a comment below on what you think godly is. What makes a dateable man of God? What makes a dateable woman of God? What makes a relationship godly? What are the defining qualities? What are the background things that no one sees that makes her the Proverbs 31 wife that you want? Makes him the man that you want? Like, find those things out in your life. Define them on your own, but if you want to share and you want to talk about it, then let's talk about it and figure out what are the defining qualities of a man of God, a dateable man of God. Anyways, I love you guys, and word out.
Whole shipment went